Have you ever been exploring Left 4 Dead and come across a place that you could call dark and gritty? Whether it's literally a dark place with bodies everywhere, or maybe it's a place that looks like it has a very strong and rich story. Well, in today's video, I have 5 dark and gritty places to show you guys in Left 4 Dead 2. If we get to 1,500 likes for today's video, I will be posting 3 bunny photos. That's 3 bunny photos for the low price of 1,500 likes, 1,500. I think we can get there. Thank you guys so much for liking the videos, and I want to shout out someone. I'll find that comment, but he says he was watching this video with his girlfriend, and I honestly thought that was super cool. So if you watch these videos with your significant other, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you for everyone who takes the time out of the day to watch these videos, comment, like. It means more to me than you could possibly know. But without further ado, let's get into the dark and gritty places in Left 4 Dead 2. Let's begin. For the first dark and gritty place, I bring you to the second map on No Mercy. And this one is a bit longer. It's the entire subway station about to a certain point before you hit the generator room. But you start a little bit out of the safe room, and as you come down here, they talk about going to the red line north, which is going to bring them to No Mercy Hospital. But as you come down here, you see there's a lot of dead bodies. But if you don't take the time to actually look at them, there's a whole story about this place just told through dead bodies, and I believe it's super cool. The first dead body we can see is a cop. So it's interesting, this guy has a police baton as an actual asset on his model. You can see that this other body is also a police officer. He has his badge. This one over here, you can tell from his tool belt and the fact that he has a gun holster and a handcuff. You can see that again there is another dead police officer surrounded by blood that leads into this area. It seems that he was either standing out here when a horde came in, or maybe he was just killed and then his body was dragged. It seems like this set piece was made before this asset was placed down because it goes right under it, which is kind of strange. You can see that there's another police guy. He's facing down, and you can see that there's a whole ton of bodies amongst them, which are another police officer. So far, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 police officers just in the beginning subway area. But this area tells me that police were either getting together trying to stop people from either infecting each other, or maybe they were trying to stop the hordes, because as you guys know, in Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, the world goes down while you play. So all of this has happened relatively recently, within the past couple of weeks, when our survivors end up coming through here. There's another police officer here. You can see his body is kind of caught up on these assets here, on these train things. I don't have these here in Hawaii, so I don't know what these are called, honestly. These like things that make sure there's only one people that can pass. There's more dead bodies here. So in this area, there's about 6 cops, okay? So as we come up here, there's even more dead bodies. You can see that this entire place is wrecked. Coming into the train car, you move throughout it. As you make your way outside of the train car, you come over here. You can see that there's much more dead bodies, but one of the most interesting places in this subway system is if you look here and you look behind here, there's this tunnel, and it's really good for gameplay if you need to go around the enemy lines, maybe take out some zombies, shoot them from the back, or maybe you're playing versus and you want to use a tunnel to get around. But think of the context, right? What is this tunnel doing here? In a normal subway station, there would be a wall here, there would be a wall on where that tunnel comes out, and there wouldn't be anything there. So in my opinion, it was either dug out by survivors, or more interestingly, maybe a tank dug it out. And while there is no tank dead body nearby, all this rubble is very indicative of a tank's damage. So that's what leads me to believe that it's the one who dug out that tunnel back there, but we may never know. Let me know what you guys think made that tunnel. On this side of the train tracks, there's a bunch of rubble. There's another train here with a blown out door. There's a lady over here, and you see this a bunch with the towels or ropes or any sort of cloth just laid over them to cover their dead body, whether it's a respect or just trying to hide it sort of thing. There's a bunch of dead bodies here that are really low resolution, like a lot of the Left 4 Dead ones are. And once again, if the cop sort of thing was only in the beginning part, there's another cop here, which makes me think that the people who made this map had a sort of reason for putting a bunch of cops down here. There's way more dead bodies. As you come over here, there's another police officer. I'm gonna be saying that a lot this time, but there are a lot of police officers. Once again, another police officer, and this dead guy in the train is, what do you know, it's another dead police officer. So my thought process is the infection was going down, and they had a lot of police go throughout the subway systems, as this is a big mode of transport for a lot of of the public and sort of control the area, but it is a zombie apocalypse, so as you can see, things didn't go very well. And in the final area of this place, you can see there are just mounds of bodies in this room. Right before you open that door and head up to the generator area, if you take a moment to look around, a lot of these bodies are reused, these specific assets, but just looking at their faces and the flies going around their bodies and the limbs missing, blood splattered, dripping down the side, arms everywhere, legs everywhere, people holding on to each other, there's blood on the walls, people just piled up. It's really, really sad. And unfortunately, if you were to equate this to real life, you know, these are people who had families. These aren't people who were just nothing. These aren't just NPCs. Now in a video game, they're NPCs. But if you put yourself in this universe, it's quite sad. But let's move on to the next dark and gritty place inside Left 4 Dead 2. Now for the second dark and gritty place in Left 4 Dead 2, I bring you to the fourth map on Death Toll, and I have actually looked at this area before for those of you who are fans of the channel. If you remember in one of my most popular videos, I think it's the most popular video at this point on my channel, but I go through this area in the previous map, but it's out of bounds and it's kind of all jibber jabbered all over the place. But if you come over here when you're supposed to and you view this area, it's actually pretty dark. You see that there's a bunch of market stuff on the ground. There's a bunch of bottles, chips, cereal, and as you look up you can see that there is a supermarket here. Maybe not a supermarket, more like a gas station it looks like, or maybe like a stop by store where you can stop and just get some food. As you come in this back room, these are one of the many rooms in Left 4 Dead which they designed to be loot specific, so you don't have to come back here, but a loot will spawn here in a normal game, so it kind of encourages you to go off the beaten path. There's another segment to the loot room over here, and yeah, as you can see, loot does spawn in here. There's a bunch of trash out here. As you come into the store, you can see it wasn't so pretty. I can't tell if each of these things are eaten. I mean, there's one right there that seems to be split open, and there's more that aren't. So whoever came in here and scavenged this place didn't really do a good job, because half the food here isn't even open. Like, you could probably get out of here with like 5 to 6 days worth of food. You can open this room, you can see that there's trash all over the floor. This is indeed a bathroom. There's soda machines here, cups, paper towels. But one of the saddest aspects is if you come to this back room, you can see there's a place for them to watch the CCTV cameras set up around the building. But there's a girl here, and this specific girl is placed around all the map. It seemed like she potentially took her own life, or maybe she did survive until the very end. There is a gun laying beside her, so it's up to your interpretation. There's more vending machines here, which of course are broken and destroyed. Look at that, $1 pricing. That's crazy. Give me them $1 drinks back, bro. Go to my college and they're freaking like $5, bro. And this place is just gritty. Like, I know it's in the title, just coming around here with no zombies, no survivors, nothing, and it's just you. This place is just so unsettling. A really interesting addition to this map are these sandbags, which tells me that the military has been through here, and the military goes all throughout Left 4 Dead. As you can see over here, there are multiple Humvees. There are 2 Humvees over here, and there's a Humvee all the way down on that end of the street as well. So it makes sense why there are sandbags here, but why in this particular area? Do you think the military were set up here trying to defend the main road, maybe as people were coming through? Honestly, who knows? It could be anything. And one of the more interesting cars in this map, specifically in Death Toll, are these news cars, which I believe you only see in Death Toll. I might be wrong, but they have a nice little satellite dish. There's another one right there. You can see the news, you know, eyewitness. So it seems as it was going down, as the zombie apocalypse was coming in, the news was reporting on it, trying to inform people. And while a lot of places have power in Left 4 Dead, maybe not everyone actually understood what was going on. But let's move on to the next place. So for the third dark and gritty place, I bring you to the passing on the very final map, Port. Now, a lot of you might already know what I'm about to show you, but in my opinion, as this is one of the most dark and gritty aspects of the game entirely, I think if you haven't seen this, you need to see it. And once you make your way down the elevator, after you come down here and look to the right, you come into this generator room, and you can see Bill's dead body. And for my friend, Bill is his favorite character, so this was a heartbreaking moment. But other than that, you know, it might be the fact that he was a Left 4 Dead 1 survivor. This is obviously very sad. There are only 3 survivors up there, and he is canonically dead. So for the people who haven't seen this, I'm sorry. Won't you believe that there are a lot of people who don't actually know you can find his body? But out of honor for Bill, we're gonna pick up his gun, his M16, and we're gonna carry it for the rest of this video. But to me, what makes it super gritty is the fact that it has so much history. You know, you actually get to play through the first version of this map as the Left 4 Dead 1 survivors, so you get to experience that previous battle. I recommend you guys play the Sacrifice and then play the Passing. As you come through this part of the map, you can honestly really feel the story, but it adds so much more weight. It adds this feeling like you aren't the first person here that have failed. There's a lot of interesting specific looking cars that you can find. There's a red truck here, there's a bus here. Once again, there's many more piles of bodies everywhere. It's not Left 4 Dead if you don't have bodies everywhere. There's another truck over here, which I believe this is the same exact truck that's used in the beginning of the Sacrifice and in the out of the map area in Death Toll, so that's pretty cool. Coming over here, you can see that there's just a bunch of trash everywhere, more loot. But like I said, it's that feeling of a previous battle, a previous loss that really gives weight. And when you look at the survivor sheet, they don't directly tell you, hey guys, you know, these new people we just met, we lost a friend. Oh, they have that dead guy down there. Don't worry about him, but he was just one of our friends. You don't get told that. A lot of people don't know that you can actually no clip up here and you can actually walk around. It's pretty cool. If you walk over here, you can see that these are actual items you can pick up. So like if I shoot my gun like that for a second, I reload, I can actually pick up this ammo. And this entire area is mapped for these survivors to run around on. And you can run up here, you can explore this area. There's not much up here. Jump over here and drop down, I guess, but yeah, there's not really any reason to be over here specifically. If you come down here and you go down instead of up, you can actually cross this board, jump down, and you can see this is actually where the Left 4 Dead 1 survivors hang out. This is where they come and they help you. Let's go to the next area. So for the next dark and gritty place, I bring you to, funnily enough, one of the brightest maps, but also one of the most hated maps, which I find pretty funny. It's the first map on Coldstream, and analyzing the environmental storytelling, you see that the survivors from Left 4 Dead 2 were running away from a forest fire, maybe possibly using this boat, which, you know, I think it's pretty obvious that they were using this boat. Kind of glitches you out if you try to walk on it, but it seems like they crashed on this boat, some of their stuff fell over, and they picked it up and they started this playthrough. As a kid, I loved just playing around with water. The Source engine doesn't have very good water physics. I mean, there are like a little bit, but that's mostly hitting the terrain right there. Like, this isn't necessarily crazy looking water. I mean, it's cool, it definitely works, but for me, someone who likes playing in water and like Halo and stuff and just messing around with the ragdolls and stuff, it's not overly interesting. But the more darker and gritty aspect comes from the random little things you can find. Like this dead guy here that's just cut in half on the ground. He's bleeding out. Half of him is just nowhere to be found. And forest maps really give me the creeps, especially if you come here alone with nobody talking to you. Like if I came here and I wasn't talking to you guys, like when I did it earlier to explore areas for this video, it's pretty creepy. Exploring this area, there's not much to show in detail. I mean, like I said, this is just a forest area. You're meant to experience this vibe by playing, not necessarily have someone tell you. And as you walk forward, you come to this bridge, and I have God mode on, but don't try this in the actual game. You can jump off here, you can jump down, you can explore this area a little bit more. You can see that there are a bunch of just water streams everywhere. I mean, hey, it's in the name, Coldstream. I think you would find water here. You can see that this bridge was actually either cut or broken because it's supposed to reach from here all the way up there, but instead you jump down here and walk up here. Over here you can see that there's a bunch more water, and you know me, I love playing with water. You kind of come down here, and like I said earlier, Source doesn't really do very well with water. Like, I'm punching it and nothing's happening. I mean, there's a little ripple effect when you shoot it and water comes out, but that's pretty much it. Once you take care of all the zombies in this area and come down to the safe room, most people aren't going to want to stick around. They just bolt right in here, close the door. But if you turn to your left, you can see that there's a bunch of writing, but there's actually a little Easter egg here. It says Chet was here, and presumably this dude is Chet. Unfortunately, Chet didn't make it. He's got some nice kicks on though. Those are some good kicks, Chet. I might have to steal them off you. And let's go on to the final area in this video. So for the final area in this video, I bring you to the third map on Coldstream. Now again, Coldstream is a pretty bright map. The overlooming fear of the fire. When you get to the rescue map in the final area, the entire place is set ablaze, so it's kind of reminded. But a lot of people forget that the entire map in Coldstream is set on fire. And before we get to the area, this is one of the funniest places, or one of the funniest safe rooms, I should say. Reading this wall, this dude says, "We are the real monsters." And it's kind of funny because there's a bunch of people that just start making fun of him. No, that's the zombies, moron. Idiot. I think it's them, stupid. I hope you're dead now. Damn, people are harsh in this universe, man. I wouldn't write anything on these walls other than like say something to my loved ones, but you're real Chad down here. I miss the internet. Bro, I couldn't imagine a world without the internet, man. How would we survive without Fortnite Battle Royale? As you come up these stairs, you can make your way out of here and jump up here. And as a kid, I love just exploring off the beaten path. I love when games let you do it, especially early Halos like Halo 1 Combat Evolves. That kind of exploration is pretty cool. If you come out here, you can actually jump down here without dying. It actually has a place for you to stand. Now you can't jump, but you can walk around. And what makes this place gritty is the fact that there's just all these boats clumped up. Now I don't necessarily know why there are a bunch of boats here. Maybe people were trying to make an escape for some sort of evac and just crash their boat on purpose. But it's pretty interesting coming around and just taking a look at each of these boats. You can crouch down and you can see that there are water effects. There's that underground or underwater sort of fog that you can get. And this entire place is explorable, although you will dip down at certain points like this and go under the water. But you can take a look at these boats. There's a bunch of rocks here that I believe you can just phase through. And I always find crash ships very disturbing. You could even say dark. But looking around, there's many dinghies here, which makes me think that these people crashed their boats, hopped out, used these dinghies to get to shore, and maybe make it to an evac or something. There's laser sights and many different types of weapons you can find around the area. Once again, there's much more boats. There's this other huge boat just sitting over here. There's another boat just cruising out here, also just halfway in the water. There's another really big boat. Now it seems to me that there's only two different assets for boats that they used in this area. There's this red one that you can also see over here. There's this one over here, and then these two are, I believe, the same asset. It looks to me like they're the same asset. But to me, this area in particular that I'm looking at, you're not meant to go in. It's meant as a set piece that you can actually see if you come up here, maybe look off the edge in some areas. But being able to explore it gives it a story, right? The fact that people place this down here inherently means something. It means something more than just there's a boat here. There's a boat that crashed. It means more than just that. Maybe it would just mean that in a add-on campaign, but the fact that this is now a main story game is pretty interesting. Now, I don't know if Coldstream is canonical, like it actually takes place and not just a side mission. Sorry, not the sacrifice. The Last Stand is a quote-unquote like side mission that they do. It's like an alternate reality sort of thing, but let me know what you guys think. And if you come over here, like I said earlier, the fire is still prominent, so you're meant to have this overlooming feeling like you have to go, the fire's creeping up on you. And to me, that's what makes Coldstream a pretty dark map. You know, like I said, a lot of people might disagree, but that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, if we hit 1,500 likes, I'll post 3 photos of my bunny. That's a low price for 3 beautiful bunny photos. But as I said, make sure to like, make sure to comment down below more video types that you guys want to see, because I love exploring Left 4 Dead. If there's any other videos you want me to check out, I might check out add-on campaigns. That's something I might do. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Cookie Blitz, and have a nice rest of your day. Peace.